I've got the time to show my love and what it's all about.
Today's video is very kindly sponsored by Unite Students. Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. So for today's video, I thought I would do something similar to the video I did a few weeks ago where I spoke about what you do and don't need to take to university with you. But today I'm going to be exclusively focusing on clothing. So clothes, bags, shoes, accessories that you need to take to university with you for both guys and girls, because I don't think there's many lists or videos online that I found talking about this. However, there are quite a few things that I wish I had taken with me to university, or I'd taken more of because I didn't realise how much I would need them. So today's video is hopefully going to help you get a little bit more prepared for the transition to university, and that is why today's video is also very kindly sponsored by Unite Students. So Unite Students is a leading provider of university student accommodation in the UK. They know how intimidating the transition to university can be sometimes, and that is why it's their goal to make your student accommodation a home for success. Moving to university can definitely take some getting used to, and that's why it's very important to be prepared beforehand in terms of the things that you are taking for your accommodation and the clothing that I'm going to talk about today, because it all makes that transition just a tiny bit smoother. Making sure that your accommodation is comfortable is such an important thing, because accommodation can really make or break your university experience, and that is why it is important to get it right. Unite Students not only cares about your comfort in student accommodation, but they also really prioritise the safety of their students, and they've shown this by cancelling all of the final term rents that have been affected by COVID, which is something that not many other accommodation providers have done. So as well as getting prepared in terms of packing for university, there are many more ways that you can get prepared and gather some advice before you go to university to make that transition a little bit smoother. And you can find lots of this advice on Unite Students' blog, which is called The Common Room. I'll have it linked down below in the description, because I wish I knew about this last year, because it is so helpful. I'll also link the Unite Students website as well, so you can have a look at their accommodation yourself. It is honestly gorgeous, and Unite Students really prioritises the safety and the comfort of their students and making sure that your accommodation is a home for success. So now into the clothing. I have got around 7 categories of clothing. They're not really individual items, they're more categories, because as I said, I want this to be a video that both guys and girls can get something useful out of. Firstly, I do want to do a tiny disclaimer and say that this video is obviously a massive generalisation. This is only for light-hearted purposes. I know that people have different styles and people may not dress the same. This is just a list of things that I and my friends as well at university have come up with. So category number 1 is loungewear, and this is probably the most important category, because I can almost guarantee that you will spend 99% of your time at university in comfy clothes. Jeans basically become a thing that you only really wear on special occasions. I think I can count on one hand the number of times I actually wore a pair of jeans in first year. Instead, you'll probably spend most of your time in leggings, joggers, hoodies, jumpers, anything comfy that requires minimal effort in the morning, especially if you've got early lectures or a busy day ahead. The last thing you really want to be doing is wearing an uncomfy outfit. Obviously, this is not to say that nobody puts in any effort ever at university. However, most of the time you will be in lectures or the library or just doing work at home, so there's really not a need to be dressed up most of the time, and most people really don't make that much of an effort, to be honest, me included. The next item is shoes for clubbing, and this might sound oddly specific. However, I can guarantee that most shoes that you wear to a club will get trashed in one way or another because clubs are just dirty. So it's definitely a good idea to bring a pair of trainers that are perhaps old or they're already a little bit dirty that you can then wear specifically on nights out because you won't mind getting them a little bit dirty or getting them a little bit trashed. It's just one less thing to worry about when you're on a night out, and just means that you're gonna have more fun because you're not worrying about your shoes or anything like that. Make sure that they are a pair of trainers that you're allowed in the club with. I know some clubs can be quite fussy about the kind of trainers that you wear, but most types will be fine as long as they're not like running trainers or anything. If you don't have a pair of trainers like this, you could always just buy a super cheap pair from somewhere like Primark maybe, or a second-hand pair from a charity shop or Depop. My friends also thought it was worth mentioning that it's a good idea to do the same thing with a jacket. So have a jacket that you take on nights out with you that you don't mind losing, or if you tie it around your waist, maybe having things spilled on it. The third category is fancy dress, and my advice for this is just bring every single item of fancy dress that you own, because I guarantee there will be an occasion to wear it at university, even if you have never had an occasion to wear it before now. Especially in freshers, so many nights out have themes, or if you're doing something like a pub crawl, for example at Leeds we have the Otley Run, it always has a theme that is fancy dress, and if you just bring all of the stuff that you have at home to university with you, it will save you a lot of money, and it will save you having to go out and buy new things every time there is a new theme. The fourth category is something along the lines of sliders, slippers or flip-flops. I'd recommend bringing something like this to wear to the kitchen, to wear to the bathroom if you have a shared bathroom, for when you need to nip out of your accommodation to let your friends in, or just nip to reception, something like that. It just saves having to go through the effort of putting a pair of trainers on and socks and everything like that, and it just makes life a little more convenient, which is always good at university. Basically at university the goal is to just put minimal effort into most things, so having something like this that means it's super convenient to get to places quickly is definitely a must. Also, if you're living with other students, then kitchens can get dirty and bathrooms can get dirty, and unless you have a cleaner or anything like that, you probably don't know the last time that the floor has been swept, so just having something on your feet at all times is probably good for hygiene reasons. Next thing is a variety of bags, and I think the most important thing here is making sure that you have a big enough bag for everyday life at university. I personally really like having a rucksack. I originally had a sort of tote bag thing in first term, but I found that it really hurt my shoulder because most of the time you're probably going to be carrying around your laptop charger, possibly textbooks, probably a water bottle. So having a bag that is big enough to hold all of this and also is comfy to wear for many hours during the day is important, because unlike school, at university there is a lot of walking involved. So walking from one lecture to the next, walking from a class to the library to home, you do a lot of walking during the day, so having a bag that is big and comfy is really important. However, it's also good to have some sort of bag that you can take on a night out with you. So personally I really like bum bags or pouches. There's many different names for them, so whatever you call them, but I find those are so convenient for nights out, and my friends agree as well. Like, most of us do wear them, or we have a bag that goes across your body like that, just something that you don't have to hold but you can put all of your stuff in and it will still be safe. So I know that I've already mentioned accessories for nights out, however the next category is just clothing for nights out. Along the same lines as comfy clothes, bring all of your night out clothing. Anything that you could possibly wear to a club, bring it with you to university, particularly in freshers, but obviously throughout the years as well. You go on a lot of nights out at university. You don't have to bring super fancy clothes either. At most universities, the nights out will be pretty chill, or at least they are in Leeds anyway. You know, I go out in hoodies half the time at Leeds, so really anything that you can play off as a night out outfit, bring it with you. And lastly, the last category is warm clothes for winter. Obviously, it's all well and good packing all of these night out outfits. However, you are going to experience winter at university, and let me tell you, winter in Leeds was absolutely freezing. I don't know if maybe that's just because it was more up north, but I really was not well prepared for just how cold the winter was going to be. You no longer have your mum telling you to put your hat on, to put your scarf on. You need to be responsible for all of that yourself, so make sure that you are bringing things such as a good coat for winter, like a puffer coat, and you bring a hat, scarf, gloves, everything like that, because you'll need to wrap up warm. And especially, as I said, because you do a lot of walking at university from place to place. So yeah, those are the 7 categories of clothing that I would recommend everyone brings with them to university. Obviously, some things might not apply if you don't go on nights out or anything like that, but overall, in general, this is what I'd recommend bringing, and what I wish that I had brought more of myself to university. However, if you go to university already and you think that I have missed something important off this list, then please comment it down below in the comment section and we can all have a chat down there and share our recommendations. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and also make sure to follow my social media, which will be linked down below in the description, along with Unite Students' website and their blog. Bye guys!